Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're all doing great. I'm doing well. I wanted to get on here and post a video, just some thoughts that I had, not a clear, drawn out message today, but I did have some people that were checking on me and were worried about me, and they hadn't seen me on here in a bit, and that, I don't want to make anyone worry, but I don't think anybody should be afraid. So let's try to shed those uh, thoughts when they get to be fear-based. I'm fine. And just because you don't see me on here every single day doesn't mean that something is wrong. In fact, it means that I just need to take a break and allow some space for what I'm doing in my personal life. I had been doing some fasting and just staying in prayer while doing that. Not only fasting from food, but also the message that I wanted to get on here and do is about, if you feel drawn to fasting, fasting is known to break away some blockages, anything that might be blocking your path, that might be standing in your way of some forward movement. I had seen several messages on several different things that I read and saw in videos that I took as a sign from my intuition to fast. And I have been doing intermittent fasting for a long time, but I've never fasted for days at a time. And boy, is it not easy. Not easy at all, especially when you drink coffee. Now, that is my only vice, really, is caffeine. And I don't drink any caffeine now except for coffee, although I did have a Dr. Pepper on Valentine's Day, which gave me a super rush because I wasn't used to that amount of sugar in a drink anymore. But caffeine in coffee had been every day until I fasted, and that gave me a tremendous headache. I was popping ibuprofen for that because it was just unbearable at times. But that just goes to show how much I have of it and how much my body depends on it. And I really needed to do the cleanse. I needed to get back on drinking water, and not just drinking water, but drinking a lot of water. So trying to create new habits that way, practicing not only what I preach on here, but practicing what I used to do every day and I've gotten away from. Like when I was camping, I was drinking a lot of water because that's all I had. I only had water, so it really kept me disciplined in the fact that I had no choice. But I've had choices lately, and it has caused me to deviate from that. And I want to create that practice again and go back to it so that I feel healthier, I feel clearer. I'm not dependent on anything. I'll still drink coffee, I'm sure, but I'm trying to limit that as well and put more water in its place. Not drink it every day so that my body's not dependent on it. So in the fasting and things like that, with my physical health, I began to notice that I was watching things as they showed up in my feed that aren't necessarily what I want to feed my mind. And that is just important as our physical health, is our mental health, and what we feed our mind, what we watch, what we put our attention on. Anything that you consume, whether it be with your eyes, whether it be with your mouth, whether it be with just the people that you surround yourself with, everything that we consume becomes part of who we are. It will slowly start to manifest. Maybe not see the results as quick in some things as others, but it all matters. Every single bit of it matters. And I began becoming more conscious of the things that my mind was watching, and started to be very intentional about what I let my eyes consume and what videos that I watched, things that I read in books, things that I read in magazines, things that I would flip through on Facebook and pay attention to, different things like that. definitely matter. I would say the more sovereign that you can be, the better. The less that you rely on social media or TV or any kind of electronic device, the better. I know that I had broken away from watching mainstream media and television a long, long time ago, and I definitely saw a difference in the way that my body was programmed. Less fear based things. A lot of the news is definitely fear based, it's a lot of tragedy, and even though we do need to be aware of what happens in our community and know when people need help and when to reach out, when to pray for people, you also need to limit that, if not cut it out completely when you can. Politics being one definitely pollutes your brain because it causes division. It causes people to pick a side and fight with each other about the side. It causes a lot of distractions in the things that are happening right under your nose. The media will broadcast things that are meant to be a distraction, things that are meant to be divisive. Um, it's not always just the things that you need to hear. A lot of what we are fed is very much manufactured. I would say when I did the paleo diet years ago, and doing a cleanse, you wouldn't have anything but water at first. You would only eat certain things. And then the more that you had gone through the cleanse and you had flushed your system, you could add certain things on that were included in the diet but not in the cleanse. And then after going on the diet for a long time, and the paleo definitely worked, by the way, after being on it for a while, you would start to give, or I would start to give myself like cheat days. And I'd been very faithful and very grounded in it and thought I could do a cheat day every now and then. And when I did do a cheat day, I would find that whatever I chose to cheat on my diet with would make my body feel horrible. I felt nasty and dirty and just didn't really want to do a cheat day anymore because it wasn't worth it. It was something that made me feel worse. It made me feel further away from the square that I had set myself back on to be on a healthy track. So that's the same way that I felt coming off of the cleanse, the fast that I was on social media. I definitely noticed when I felt low vibrations from something that I was watching that wasn't good for my mind, my body, my spirit. Things where people would be fighting or people would be arguing or just catty behavior where they would be fussing at each other or hurling insults at each other or anything that was violent in nature. I'm not saying cut all of this out. I'm just making a suggestion to limit it because it will make you feel a lot lighter, not realizing that you absorb these things, whether it be personal to you or not. It's something that you absorb. And with discernment, you can definitely start to identify anything that's low vibrational, anything that has a low level energy about it, including the things that you watch, the things that you read, to become more dependent on the knowledge that you draw from source through meditation, through prayer. Things like that are going to be much more inducive to your growth. You're going to bring in the things that you need to know, the things that God is sending your way, the things that are a part of the plan for your life. Everything is planned out. We have free will, so if you choose to discern between what is good for your mind, what is good for your body, and what is not, learn to put limitations on that and ingest less things that are pornographic, that will bring about lustful feelings. Those are all low vibrational things. That is one of the hardest things that people don't realize that they do as much is watching sexually amped programming or pornography. Maybe because people do it in private And a lot of times they think that no one will know, and if no one knows, then what what is it going to do? Well, it does a lot on a personal level to you, and it will stir up feelings and emotions that people act on. And I watched a video the other day that was talking about emotions being energy with motion. So you're attaching motion to this energy, which means when you evoke certain feelings and emotions in yourself, that it will drive you to do certain things. It motivates the lust. It motivates the overindulgence in certain things, violence, inciting violence, and inciting people to be more likely to fight, or to fight with their words, or to eat more. Watching influencers is something that will do this, because it makes you feel like a lot of the times that you're missing out on something, either that you need to be motivated to buy a product that they're using and they're promoting, or they're getting paid to promote, or that their life is perfect, and then you compare your life to their life and then feel like you're inadequate in some way, and that you're not really you're not living your best life because you're not living like them, and all of that is fake. It's fake. It's not real. They're doing it because someone's paying them to do it. Most people that post on social media, whether it be an influencer or not, are only posting the good parts of their life. So being off of Facebook and Instagram just because people choose only to post the most desirable parts of their life, things for people to be envious of, things that they are very much in their ego while posting, flossing, acting like, look what I got. You ain't got it. It's all built up from their ego, that we don't need those things. All we need is source. All we need is what God sends our way. It's all about perspective and shedding your ego when it comes to what you should be announcing about your life. I would advise everybody to keep your life as private as possible. And if you do put things out there, that it's not only just the good things, that you are relatable. And I'm not saying put every bit of trauma, put every bit of struggle that you're going through, but make it real. Be authentic. Be your genuine self. Now, I might not have much to brag about, but I do get on here and talk about how far I've come. The things that have been hurdles for me, and prayer and meditation and being my true, genuine, authentic self has gained me more in my life than anything ever has. So I try to put that out there about myself. I'm not going to get on here and brag about my apartment or brag about anything that I have. I want to get on here and be myself and just tell you my testimony as far as how far I've come, where people wanted me to be, and how that's not even close to where I am. And by staying in faith and by trusting in God's plan, I know that I only have good things ahead of me, because I have put my foundation built on God, and that is where it should be. That's where it should have been from the beginning. Um, Along with, just as far as practices go, as long as you're cutting out things and you're trying to limit things and you're trying to identify them for what they are. I've said this before, but I'll never say it enough, to stay in a constant state of gratitude and positivity, to not only correct those negative thoughts or replace them, but even when nothing's going on and you think, life is mundane, every single day, every single thing, thank God for it. Be positive about it. Even, when I'm drinking water, thank you for this water. If I go to the store, thank you, God, for the things that I was able to get from the store. Thank you for the funds that were there that helped me to purchase this. Thank you for the safe trip in my vehicle and all of those around me on my way to and from the store. Thank you for the electricity. Thank you for the water. Thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you for the food. Every single thing I am very grateful for. I say what I'm thankful for and how grateful I am, probably, I mean, literally thousands of times a day. That's how I want to stay in a state of gratitude. I try to always fill any void with those thoughts. And if something is negative, I don't want that to be for me. Know that anytime, say for instance, if you're around someone or you talk to someone that sounds like Eeyore and they're like, everything sucks, my life is sad, I'm depressed, that is something that they fed themselves, they allowed themselves to ingest, or it's something that someone else fed them that they allowed themselves to ingest. We have a choice to be happy. We have a choice to be positive. We always have a choice. And no matter how bad it is, it can always be worse. Always. Every single time. Without a doubt. It can always be worse. And people might think that it's silly to thank God for every single thing, but there's lots of people out there that don't have those things at all. And they might never have those things. It's all about how you look at it and the choices that you make and how you allow others to project energy on you. Just because someone is sad and they choose not to share with you why they're sad, you can feel that emotion coming off of them, and you don't have to absorb that emotion and let it be part of your energy. Definitely pray for them. And if they talk to you about it, definitely try to help them to figure out where it's coming from and how they can elevate themselves. I definitely pray for them. It's rare that the conversations that I have, people, now that I'm limited to not being in the public eye all the time, that I have the opportunity for somebody to tell me what is bothering them. But I can always tell if something is bothering them or if they've been around another negative person and that has worn off on them. It's very telling. And the more that you practice, the more that you can read energy and you can discern these things. Um, but just don't make it part of your mindset. Don't let someone's boasting about things, don't let their sad mood, don't let jealousy, don't let people being judgmental, people being hostile, people being overly sexual, don't absorb any of that to where it becomes part of you without reason, without any good reason at all. You be you. Know that we are sovereign, completely sovereign in who we are, that we do not have to do anything that we don't choose to do. We don't have to give our power away to anyone that we don't want to give space in our energy, that we don't want to give power over us by letting them put their feelings and emotions, their anger, anything on us. Even if you are in a relationship, don't be codependent to where that happens. Be completely sufficient in your own emotions that you can talk someone else's feelings and issues, if they choose to share them with you, out with them without making them your own. And if you start to feel like I'm sad because they're sad, or I want to fix things for them, I want to just make this go away, instead replace that with prayer for them immediately, just like you would pray for your enemies, because we are all part of God. So wishing downfall upon my enemies, or wishing bad upon them, or hating them and putting myself in a low vibration is completely counterproductive, because hating on someone else is hating on yourself. If you all come from the same thing and you are all connected, it's not going to do anything but bring you down if you wish hate and anger, or you're jealous, or any kind of negative low vibrational energy because of someone else or for someone else. You're only making our collective as a whole be low vibrational. You're going to do that because of them and to yourself, and it's all completely unnecessary and completely avoidable. It's just part of something that you can put into practice and make it a habit to where it's instinctual, that you just pray for them, that you separate your energy from theirs. that you have better habits with eating, with what you feed your mind, with what you let yourself be around, because you're going to sync up to that if you don't have good boundaries and if you're not being very, very conscious about what it's doing to you as well. If you don't put up those boundaries and you don't separate others' energy and others' content from yourself. And that goes for every part of you, whether it's physical, mental, it doesn't matter, emotional, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. It's all energy. Everything is energy. I think that's all I wanted to say for today. I didn't really have anything prepared. It just became blatantly aware to me when I started fasting that I needed to fast from several things, that it wasn't just the water, that it wasn't just abstaining from food for a few days to remove blockages or for movement or to please the Lord, that it was several things that I needed to detox from my body. And once you do that and make it a habit, practice it, definitely try not to go back to it. It's just like anything else that you're aware of. Once you know, you can't unknow. So if you find yourself sliding back into those habits, your body's going to tell you, you're going to be aware. There's going to be bells and whistles that go off that let you know, hey, we thought about this and we realized that it wasn't good for us. So let's try to course correct, get back on the right path, and not do that to ourselves, not pollute ourselves with those things that are only going to hinder you and hold you back, and in turn make others feel the same way. If they haven't gotten to that level of discernment to where they know it's not their energy, you'll rub off on them. And we want for kindness, we want for positivity, we want for gratitude to ripple and multiply. We want for everyone to love everyone else as they love themselves, as they love the Lord, because that is what we are here to do. It raises the vibrations. It gets us all out of those lower chakras. It gets us all out of those lower energies and vibrations so that we can do what we were put here to do, which is not wallow in self-pity. It's not be hateful or mean to each other. It's to elevate, to encourage, to strengthen, and to love each other, to love yourself so that you can pour into others with the overflow and not contaminate, not cross pollute, not do anything that's going to hinder your growth or your level up. So, yeah, nothing will ever stop me. So if you don't see me on here for a couple of days, it just means that I am involved with something else, or someone else, or whatever may be going on in my life at that time. That I am in a rebuilding phase, and I am very much open to receive, and I'm open to people, I'm open to love. I'm experiencing all of these things as if they were for the very first time, because I completely reset my life, build it on a new foundation, and exploring things with that foundation is amazing, because my life is far from over. It's far from over, and I love that feeling of being aware and being able to rebuild, to love myself, and then extend that to others, no matter who they are or how we meet, whether it be here or in person. It's beautiful. It's all beautiful. So I'll catch you next time. I love you. God loves you. You're never alone. Bye.